What's up? What's up? Good evening. Good evening. What's going on? What's going on? Whew, it has been a wonderful day, beautiful day. I'm just another day's journey, and I'm glad about it. How about that? Um, this is going to be a conversation that's probably going to have a few different subjects within it, but it's all about the journey, or I should say, my journey. Um, I've said it a few times. I'll probably say it a few more times. Beginning of this year, I made some decisions to change things in my life. And as I have been changing these things and I've been traveling down this road and every now and then as I'm walking, it's really, man, it's an awesome blessing. In the course of going through this journey that I'm on, every now and then as I'm walking, I'm being, just figurative, it's just this description. I'm just kind of embellishing. As I travel, every now and then as I'm going, somebody tags along, somebody, is going in the same direction I am, and we get to talking, we get to growing, we get to sharing and expressing it and doing these things. So never ever dismiss someone that just might happen to just pop into your journey, because there could be some really, really good information and some words of encouragement that are being sent from God through this person to keep you motivated, to keep you going, to keep you moving in the right direction. There's a guy, Eric Thomas, E.T. Him among a lot of other people I listen to from time to time. And I heard a clip today. And I heard it once before, the day before, and it didn't really hit me. He was talking about how upset he was at his mother when he found out that the man he called his father was not really his father. So he had a thought in his head that for the longest that he wasn't wanted, that he wasn't unplanned. And it took a scripture, one Sunday at church. Before you were born in your mother's womb, God knew you. That alone just changed his whole perception. Hey, Miss Gwen, how you doing, love? And this is where I'm going to start this part of the journey from. As I'm 55 years old, and I have had my ups and downs. I've done good, I've done bad. I have been everything that my mom and daddy wanted me to be, and I've been some things they didn't want me to be. I've been a friend. I've whatever there can to be, I have been in one degree or one way or form, shape, or another. I never, in the course of my living, ever thought that God would call me to be a mouthpiece for Him. That was one thing I never thought about and never did. And I got ministers and preachers in the family. There's preachers in the family. But I never saw myself doing it. I got a cousin that's a motivational speaker that is off the chain. She is awesome. But I never looked at me that way. So as I'm saying that, I'm saying this to you. A lot of times the gift that God has given us is something that we have never ever even thought about using. I'm not a crafty person, but all the jewelry, the necklaces, the bracelets you ever see me wear, those are things that I made myself, that God gave me a design on. I have given away necklaces and bracelets and all kind of stuff to people for like years now. Never once, I was terrible in art class. I was I was not the best student. But God one day, He just told me, He said, go get these little seed beads and make some bracelets and make them in different colors and different things like that. What's up, Furl? What's up, man? Miss y'all, man. I'm on this journey, and eventually I'll pop up. I will. But as I'm doing these things that God keeps showing me to do, it never makes any sense to me. God, why would you have me making jewelry? Why would you have me, studying like you have me study? Why do you have me looking and so many different things? One thing, and you've allowed me to be under so many different ministers in so many different churches. And there are people talk about old church hopping. Well, if you leave one church because they make you mad and you hop to another one, that's church hopping. But I wasn't church hopping. I was going to school. Each place I was at, each minister that I was under, taught me something different. I started at one in Christ. Love it. Miss it. Then I left there. God, was unctioning me. I ended up was out at, it's HDMI now, but it was Lively Stone then under Pastor Shirley. Pastor Shirley is the one who really gave me my foundation as a preacher. That's who birthed me, for real. Then I left from there and I ended up at Bishop McAdams Church. He taught me through the people that he had around how to be fully rounded as a minister. He taught me about ceremonies, different things like that. And then at Joshua House, with Adrian, learn to be studious. Learn to, make sure you know what you're talking about. Get your facts in order before you open your mouth. Down at Second Christian, I've learned how to teach, how to be understanding, and how to deal with big crowds or little crowds. And understand that it's about the word. It's not about anything other than just God's word. Some awesome foundation in all of those places. I got this going. It's just going to drive y'all crazy. I'm used to it. But I never thought, for the life of me, that I would be where I'm at now. My weight and my health and stuff like that. It's an ongoing, I won't say it's an ongoing battle, it's an ongoing journey. Because it's only a battle if you decide to fight against what you know in your heart you ought to really be doing. I understand now what I need to be doing, and that's what I'm doing. I started at the beginning of this year, and it has just continued to develop and just changed as the seasons have changed. You can do the same thing. I try to make sure that I'm talking in such a way that I include other people, but I think this time I'm going to have to really just talk about me. And it's not a vain kind of thing. It's just the things I've experienced and what I go through. I know right now I'm in a wheelchair, and yes, I know I'm a big dude. Even if I wasn't in the wheelchair and I was walking, I'd still be a big dude. I'm 5'11". I'm an inch away from 6 foot tall. I'm not no little short 5'5" cat. And it's just something about me, period, that I stand out sometimes. People just it's like I might as well be 7 feet tall. They'd be like, ooh. But I get on the city bus from time to time, and I try to be nice. But when I get on, between me, the chairs, not a little small chair, I have people that always want to sit and not move and stuff like this, and I got to talk to them kind of gruff. I'd be like, look, you can sit there if you want to, but it's not going to work out good for you because you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt with me trying to get on here and you not making room for me. But I don't know one of them I know who she is. I forgot, it's an older lady. She's from here in Jeff City. I don't know, my mom and daddy, they told me be nice to older folks. But see, some old folks, they need somebody to tell them to stay in their lane. Every time I get on the bus, this lady got to look me up and down and shake her head. Do you think that I don't know what I look like? Do you think that I woke up one morning and said, you know what, I think I just want to be big and in a chair. That's right. That's my plight in life. That's, and the lady knows my family and knows my mom and knows my daddy, knows who I am. And she looks at me like that's the way I've always looked. She know better. But anyway, it used to really bother me. It used to, get on my nerves. It used to kind of make me a little mad. But now I just look at it and shake my head because I realize that these are people that just really don't have the ability to grow any longer. They have become sedimentary in the way that they think and the way they look at people, and that's it. That's where they're gonna be. I can't be mad at them. I just gotta pray for them and keep on going, and that's what I've been doing. Had a person I thought was man. I thought we was cool. Um, I won't say it was a misunderstanding. They expressed how they felt. I respected how they felt. It kind of thought came to me. I said, maybe some other people feel that way. Let me put this out here and see how they feel. I said, well, I'm not going to do, send out as many motivational little messages and stuff, because I done, offended somebody. All of my friends, well, I can't say all of them, but a lot of y'all got on here and said, you can send what you're going to send somewhere else, send it to me. Because it helps me. It motivates me. Not one, well, one did. Not really, hardly anybody addressed the individual. And knew who the individual was until they decided they wanted to sign their name to their stuff. But even then, didn't nobody pay no attention to it because it wasn't about them. They didn't understand that. But I say that to say this. There are people that right now that you think you cool with, that you think that there are no issues between you and them. And God is going to open up a door and an opportunity for you to see how they really feel about you and what they really think of you. And sometimes it's going to amaze you at the people they are. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's people you've called friends for years. But just know it's part of the God's weeding out process. He can't take you to where he truly wants you to be or where you've even truly been designed to be if you've got certain people hanging on. They might be hanging on by a thread, but they still hanging on and they dead weight. They holding you down. They're holding you from elevating. And you've got to do what you got to do. I have, for the most part of this year, I have been in my house, working, learning, studying, getting stuff right. And I don't run around like I used to run around. I haven't been to church. Don't mean I still love God. He's still my daddy, and all of that. I just have not been to the part of fellowship. And people are gonna say, well, don't forsake the fellowship. I understand that, but when you on a mission, and when God has you in a place, that's where you just be in that place. For a long time, I thought I was on the island of Patmos. And if you know Patmos, that was punishment. That was prison, that was jail. And I was comfortable with my Patmos experience. I was like, oh, this is cool. Then I realized it's not where I'm supposed to be. This is someplace where the boat crashed that I was on, and then I had to wait till another boat came along. And after the next boat came along, it was time for me to go. It was time for me to get off the island. It was time for me to go back to work. It was time for me to do the things that I've been created and ordained to do. I'm not trying to ramble. We just having a conversation about the journey. My journey has caused me to change my diet, to eliminate a whole lot of things that I loved, but they just not working for where I'm going. Right now, I'm on my first official fast, and baby, I tell you what, the first 3 days was fine. Wasn't no issues, wasn't no problem, wasn't no nothing. But that fourth day, I woke up, my stomach wasn't right. I was smelling stuff I hadn't smelled before. I was feeling different. Everything, went outside and the sky was brighter. It was, when I go to sleep at night now, I've got all this stuff going on in my head, and sometimes I'm gonna have to probably go in the middle of the night, go live in the middle of the night and get some stuff out. God is steadily, continually growing and teaching us if we just pay attention and just stop and listen and pay attention. There's so much more, and if you're still above ground and you're still walking and you're still moving, there's something else for you to do. Your journey is not over. Your journey is over when you finally take that last breath and close your eyes for the final time. Until then, you're on your journey, like I'm on my journey. And I said this evening, by the time I get through with this journey, this part of the journey, I'm going to be able to walk past a lot of y'all and tap you on the shoulder and be like, how you doing? And you're going to be like, I don't know you. Who are you? And you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to look at me for about 10, 15 minutes. And then you're going to just realize all at once, oh my God, you look so different. I didn't know who you were. I know you didn't know who it was. That's why I stood here and tapped you. You just know. As you make the changes in your life that you need to make your life better, you're going to change. Your looks are going to be different. The way I look now and the way I looked at the beginning of this year are two totally different people. I've taken a bunch of pictures this year. I normally don't take any pictures of myself, but I started taking pictures so I could look back and see. And of course, whenever God does call me home, y'all can have some pictures to take and have a picture of me where I ain't looking all crazy. Cause see, y'all be making us look bad when we gone. We can't say nothing about it. You be like, oh, here, let's use this picture, and that picture be a hot mess. Y'all know it be, no, don't use that picture. That's the main thing. But enjoy this journey. Share time on this journey. It's for a purpose. There's a plan to it. God has everything well in hand. Your journey is not mine, but our destination is all the same. I'm going to holler at y'all. Stay up. I'll probably see you again soon. Much love to y'all. Peace.